Series points lead remains with a two-time World Finals champion, but Tyler Menninga and Camden Murphy look to chip away at the points after dominating in El Paso. This is Stadium Championship Series Yellow. This is round 16. This is Monster Jam.
Unbelievable! Yes! Oh, there's some huge air. He can save it right there. He can save it. Holy cow! Awesome move. Look at that. And he's got it. Cowabunga! Big air out of the box. Beautiful. Yeah!
The road to World Finals begins now.
We are just around the corner from South Beach in sunny Miami, Florida, at the home of the Miami Marlins. And on a humid Florida night, fans are filing into LoanDepot Park to see the stars of Stadium Championship Series Yellow. Hello everyone, I'm Scott Jordan along with Cole Stevens. A few rounds have passed since we've been with Stadium Championship Series Yellow, and it's been predominantly the Ryan Anderson show, but in El Paso, Son of a Digger did not get an event championship. And Cole, I know it sounds weird to say because we're used to him winning, but what went wrong for Ryan Anderson in Texas?
I can't say that everything went wrong for Ryan. I think he just didn't have a great show, and Tyler and Camden both did. They went out there and showed out in El Paso, and they need to. They need to get every valuable point they can if they want to catch Ryan.
Now you mentioned Tyler Menninga, he got back to his winning ways in El Paso. Does he have a chance, a reasonable chance, to win the series from Ryan? And if so, what does he have to do?
He's got a lot of work cut out for him, Scott. He's got a long ways to go. Ryan's got a huge lead right now. He's almost got to pray for some breakages on Ryan's end and hope his truck stays together because he's got to go out there and ride the lightning every single event.
Let's take a look at the driver lineup for Stadium Championship Series Yellow. Cole, who do you have your eye on to step up here tonight in Miami?
Well, we've been talking about in Camden Murphy. Came away with the event championship in El Paso one day there, so I'm excited to see what he's got in store. He needs to gain a lot of points. I think he's really going to throw it down that Bakugan Dragonoid.
Now let's look at the point standings coming into round 16. Ryan Anderson with the lead, a sizable lead right now over Tyler Menninga, who did gain some ground over Camden Murphy. Charlie Pauk and Barney Musawa rounding out the top five. When you look at the series points, Cole, does anything surprise you at all?
I just can't believe how far ahead Ryan is, and they got to be careful. They need to start getting some points on Ryan, or it's going to be the Ryan Anderson show, no problem.
At the Sun Bowl, Camden Murphy won his third event championship of the season. Now let's hear from the former Monster Jam Rising Star Award winner as we head down to the track with Leslie Mears and the driver of Bakugan Dragonoid in this UNOH Pit Report.
You told me that you want to concentrate on the things that you can control. So what can you control out here in these giant machines that are somewhat uncontrollable?
Well, racing. Racing is that one event that you have really almost about 75 to 90% of control over. Now, granted, the track changes. You can hit a rut. Things like that can happen. Obviously, truck breakage can happen. But as long as you go out there and put down the best and fastest lap you possibly can, in the end of it, you just got to be able to put on the best event you possibly can and hopefully get the score you deserve.
And I feel, guys, that he's got the attitude going into freestyle, that he's going to go just a smidge harder to try to impress those fans.
Thank you, Leslie. A very confident Camden Murphy, and Cody's right. He controls racing. He has the fastest average time of anybody on the series, but it's the Great Clip Skills Challenge where Ryan and Tyler have taken that advantage. They each have 7 wins, Camden with just a couple. Is that where he needs to turn it up a notch?
You know, definitely. No, Camden is definitely a force to be reckoned with when it comes to racing, but he definitely needs to step it up when it comes to skills and freestyle. He's right there on the cusp. He just needs to put the whole package together.
Let's take a look at the event breakdown for round 16. 3 competitions, racing, the Great Clip Skills Challenge, and freestyle. Points are awarded based on finish. 12 go to the winner, and it goes down from there. And the driver with the most points at the end of the night is crowned the overall event champion. It's time for track talk. Colt, the track here in Miami a little more narrow than what we've seen on this series, and also the dirt, a different kind of substance. So talk a little bit about those elements and how it might affect tonight's action.
You know, I actually have a number for you, Scott. This track is 30% smaller than any other track that we've been on thus far this year. We're in a baseball stadium. One thing about it, we're here in Miami. There's a lot of sand that doesn't work very well for Monster Jam. So they made this dirt, and it's kind of like kinetic sand, something that you would get at the store from Spin Master that the kids play with. And it's kind of hard to drive on for the drivers. One thing about it is it's slick. on top, but it really molds together. So one thing about it is it's going to make a lot of ruts, and the drivers are going to have to overcome that quickly, especially in racing if they want to get around this track fast.
Let's take a look at the racing bracket here for round 16. In round 1, it's Axe versus Vendetta, Jurassic Attack against El Toro Loco, Zombie versus Soldier Fortune, and Avenger versus Monster Mud. The first round buys belong to Megalodon, Son of a Digger, powered by Hoonigan, Grave Digger, and Bakugan Dragonoid Colt. When I look at the bracket, there's a pairing I like in round 1. It is Soldier Fortune and Zombie, and the winner goes on to face Grave Digger. You have 3 superstars that earned their stripes, made their career in the Triple Threat Series. They've done battle up and down the road. I like that side of the bracket.
I'd like that side of the bracket as well, Scott. One thing about it is I think that side of the bracket is weighted a little bit more heavy than the other side. Not to say the other drivers aren't as good, but I think that one side, the heavy hitters are all on one side, and they're going to have to really get after it if they want to go to the final round.
It's time to head down to the track for the first racing matchup of the night. It's Axe versus Vendetta. And we are off here in round 1 of racing. And it is Axe out of the berm first.
Preston stayed really low in that first corner. It might be an advantage there.
Both having some problems getting their tires back on the track halfway point, and Preston Perez with the lead. That was a close finish. We're gonna have to take a look at the super glue glued to the action replay.
I think Preston had his number there. He stayed low in that first corner, came out around, had some great momentum going all the way around. Wasn't super fast, but sometimes that's the ticket. Slow is fast.
It is Axe advancing to round 2 with a time of 21.151. Next up in round 1 is Paul Jensen in Jurassic Attack against Craig Champion El Toro Loco, the first stadium meeting of these two. It is Paul Jensen out of the berm and into the turn first.
Craig Champion had a great first corner, stayed nice and low in the berm, where Paul seemed to go up a lot higher than Craig.
Final turn here, Jurassic Attack trying to get it done. Here comes El Toro. And it is Jurassic Attack advancing to round 2. Take a look at the super glue glued to the action replay.
El Toro Loco came into the last corner here, turned a little bit too sharp, hits a turn pod, and cost him the race against Jurassic Attack.
Our next matchup in round 1, Bari Musauer and Zombie against Caleb Blood and Soldier Fortune. These two go way back on the Triple Threat Series, but the first time they're going head-to-head in the Stadium Series. Caleb Blood been coming on as of late and racing. Her record now at 514-14. Bari Musauer 17-16.
Bari's got fire. He's got bad. This might be a blown motor, Scott. Look how much is coming out of his exhaust right now. And this might be a night ender for Bari and Zombie.
That would be tragic for Bari Musauer. Caleb Blood still has to finish the race, and she does. So Bari, very smart, at least gets the truck out of her lane, and she's able to cross the finish line. Take a look at the Super Glue the action replay.
Coming around, you can see that header on that Zombie truck absolutely blowing smoke out. He might have a blown motor. Unfortunately, this could cost Bari his entire night.
And our final round 1 matchup is Monster Mutt up against Avenger. Great start off the line for Jim Kohler as Avenger comes out, and Avenger's got the lead with smoke.
Jim spins out in the corner too much going into it.
Charlie Palkin now trying to finish strong. He's in the final turn. He's going over.
It's all Jim's now.
So Avenger crosses the finish line first, but called a 5-second penalty on Jim Kohler. So Charlie Palkin is advancing into round 2. Let's take a look at the bracket after round 1. It's going to be Megalodon against Axe, Son of a Digger versus Jurassic Attack, Grave Digger against Soldier Fortune, and Bakugan Dragonoid now against Monster Mud. We are moving right along in the racing bracket. When we return, the series points leader Ryan Anderson will hit the track. Son of a Digger, powered by Hoonigan, is coming up next. Welcome back to round 2 of Monster Jam Racing in Miami as Corey Rummel and Preston Perez pull to the starting line.
Corey is definitely known for holding it wide open. Let's see if he can do that on this style dirt.
And Axe is giving Corey everything he's got, so Preston Perez trying to get it done. But Corey Rummel now with the lead at the halfway point.
Oh, Preston's letting it all hang out, Scott.
And final turn as Megalodon gets up on one wheel there. And it is Corey Rummel advancing to the semifinals. Up next in round 2, Ryan Anderson and Son of a Digger, powered by Hoonigan, against Paul Jensen in Jurassic Attack. Ryan Anderson, the best racing record on this series, 32-9. Colt, that's 78% of your races. That is incredible in any sport, much less Monster Jam.
Ryan absolutely nailed it out of the hole right there.
Ryan Anderson going to continue that rhythm as he now heads up on the yellow race ramp. Has to brake check a little bit. Ryan going deep, and now the final jump. And Ryan Anderson advancing to the semifinals. Before our next matchup, let's check back in downstairs with Leslie Mears.
Guys, Kayla Blood is so excited for racing. She said when she checked out the track, she thought it was going to be more tacky and she was going to have to worry about rolling over in the corners. But in practice one day ago, she found that that was not the case, and she's ready to roll through those corners and into the next round.
Thank you, Leslie. Next up in round 2, Tyler Menninga and Grave Digger against Kayla Blood and Soldier Fortune. Grave Digger hits the turn first.
Kayla is on a mission right now, Scott. She's got the advantage.
She is on a mission. Can she hold off Tyler Menninga? He goes deep in the turn, and so does she. Final turn, and Kayla Blood is going to get it done. What an upset here. You called it. Take a look at the Super Glue Glue to the action replay.
Oh my gosh, so Tyler was tiptoeing through the corners and Kayla let it all hang out. She goes into these corners, especially over here on the yellow lane. Lets that truck slide around the corner. She's very aware of the ruts down on the gray side. She kind of gets through the corner just exactly what she needs to do and sends that truck across the finish line first.
Our final round 2 matchup, Camden Murphy and Bakugan Dragonoid against Charlie Pocket in Monster Mud. And Camden Murphy has the fastest average racing lap time on this series. And it is even out of the berm, so here we go around into that turn up on the race lane.
Oh, Charlie has to check up big time going across the gray lane.
And Camden Murphy going to try to take advantage. Final turn for Bakugan Dragonoid. And Camden Murphy, great race. He will advance. Take a look at the Super Glue Glue to the action replay.
You can see Charlie coming around here, really has to check up on the gray side. That cost him the race. And then he checks up and tiptoes through this yellow corner as well.
Let's take a look at our racing bracket here in the semifinals. It's going to be Corey Rumble and Megalodon against Ryan Anderson and Son of a Digger, and Kayla Blood and Soldier Fortune against Camden Murphy in Bakugan Dragonoid. How do you see these two matchups shaking out?
Yeah, this is going to be a hard one, Scott. All 4 of these drivers are doing great tonight. They've got this track kind of dialed in, but the thing about it is that gray corner right there could be the deciding factor.
Corey Rumble with the fastest time of the night. He has lane choice here. He takes the yellow side. Do you agree with that, Colt?
You know, I have to say, Scott, I think these lanes are pretty consistent with each other. The thing about it is both drivers have to get through that gray side of the track and be very careful not to get caught in a rut.
And here we go. Winner advances to the finals. And Corey Rumble by an inch out of the berm, but Ryan Anderson turning it on.
Ryan has a bobble. He's bobbling.
It's that far side of the track. The dirt is running up.
Oh, but Corey spins out. It's over.
Corey does spin out on the turning pod, and Ryan Anderson makes him pay, so Son of a Digger advances to the final round. Take a look at the Super Glue Glue to the action replay.
Ryan had to check up. You can see the truck kind of bounce as it goes through the ruts, and unfortunately, whenever Corey Rumble comes in there, he over-rotates and spins out, costing him the race.
Before we continue with the semifinal round, let's head downstairs to Leslie Mears. Leslie, what is going on your view of the track?
Just beyond the backflip ramp, there is a huge rut out there, and we're talking probably 8 to 10 inches of dirt that have piled up as everybody has been coming around that corner, and that's where our drivers are having those mishaps. So they're really going to have to either turn sharp, shoot, and turn sharp again, or go wide to try to avoid it.
Thank you, Leslie. So we knew the dirt was going to be a factor here in racing, and it's starting to be a factor, but Camden Murphy just saw Corey Rumble struggle out of that lane, and he takes the same lane here in this race. Kayla Blood again with a gray start. Here she goes into that gray side.
And did you see how she did that? She adjusted. She went to the inside. Uh-oh. Are they going to give her a 5-second penalty, Scott?
She did not get both those front wheels across that ramp. That's going to be something to watch. Doesn't matter anyway. Camden Murphy gonna get across the finish line. What a race.
Did you see what Cam did right there? I'll be very interested if he uses that technique in the finals. Watch him as he comes around this gray lane. He goes really deep out past where that rut is. I think that was a really smart move. That's a racer's mentality right there.
20.682. That is just a tad bit faster than Ryan Anderson, so he will get lane choice going into the final round. The finals are set. It's going to be Ryan Anderson and Son of a Digger powered by Hoonigan against Camden Murphy and Bakugan Dragonoid. The first 12 points of round 16 are up for grabs in just a few moments. The Monster Jam Racing finals are next. Welcome back to round 16 of Monster Jam at LoanDepot Park, and it is time for the racing finals. But Colt, there's some action going on in that far corner of the track with that dirt. What's going on?
Yeah, Scott, when we were on our break just now, we had the track crew come out, and they actually filled these holes in a little bit on the corner down there on the gray side. I don't think I agree with that. These drivers have been having to drive around this track equally, because now nobody really knows what's going to happen down there in that gray corner.
Our final matchup, two heavyweights in racing, Ryan Anderson and Son of a Digger powered by Hoonigan against Camden Murphy and Bakugan Dragonoid. Camden did have the fastest time in the semifinals. He gets lane choice. He stays on that yellow side of the track. Here we go, our final race of the night.
It's crazy to see Ryan almost turn immediately after leaving the starting line.
Look at the rail. Ryan hit the turning pod. And Camden Murphy now with the advantage. He's got the turn now.
I think that Ryan might get a 5-second penalty. I think it's all over.
To the finish we go, and Ryan Anderson's going to cross the finish line first. And he does get a penalty, 5-second penalty to Ryan Anderson. Great call, Colt, as we take a look at the super glue, glued to the action replay.
Yeah, that was the ticket. He went wide out there. He knew it could potentially cost him time, but it made it smoother around that corner and able to come away with the win. So great veteran racing move by Camden Murphy.
So Camden Murphy gets his 5th racing win of the season, second only Ryan Anderson, and he is down on the track right now with Leslie Mears. Leslie.
Camden, for you, it was all about mastering that corner where there was that inconsistency. You knew it might happen. What made you decide that you were going to go wide?
Well, you know, for that final lane, for that final corner there, you got to go as fast as you possibly can. Go get as much speed and momentum as you can to get that final jump. And you got to stay tight with the first corner. I knew I could keep it tight down in the other lane, so I figured, hey, if I can stay out of that rut, stay wide, get a good run, hopefully come across the finish line first.
And guys, he's taking care of the things that he can control.
That's all you can do. Thank you, Leslie. Let's now take a look at our BKT overall point standings after racing. Camden Murphy getting 12 points, Ryan Anderson with 11, Corey Rummel with 10, Caleb Blood with 9, and Tyler Menninga with 8 points. Next up in Miami was the Great Clip Skills Challenge. In this competition, drivers could attempt 2 technical maneuvers on 2 wheels or choose to do a donut. They were judged by fans in attendance on creativity, skill, and execution. With 12 points on the line, let's take a look back at our top 3 drivers. Coming in third, it was Caleb Blood in Soldier Fortune.
That girl.
Oh yeah, that's how you do it.
In second, Tyler Menninga in Gravedigger.
Tyler's known for doing the combos. Let's see if he can throw one here. Goes right into a stoppie. One of the best in the business at doing these moonwalks. Trying to ride it all the way back to the top here. Starting to spin. Gets it under control. Riding it back again. Oh, tries to go into a wheelie. He gets it. So we got a combo move, Scott.
And take a look at this winning run from Ryan Anderson, Son of a Digger, powered by Hoonigan.
Going into a bicycle. Great control. He's riding it all the way around the corner here. He's able to turn this truck. Uh-oh. Get a little crazy, Ryan.
Huh.
Nice save.
And after his 8th win in the Great Clip Skills Challenge, Leslie Mears caught up with Ryan Anderson.
So Colt mentioned that you're ambidextrous. You can do those bicycles either way, but you really had to work hard for both of those tonight.
No doubt. The dirt here has some tack, but it also has this slime factor to it that's a little bit weird. You've seen in racing, the ruts were insane. So it's not exactly what I was expecting. It's not what I remember from Miami 2 years ago, but we're having a blast with it. That bicycle all the way around the stadium is just, I'm chomping at the bit to get it.
Let's now take a look at our BKT overall point standings after 2 competitions. Ryan Anderson has the lead at 23 points, Camden Murphy with 20, and then a 3-way tie between Caleb Blood, Tyler Menninga, and Corey Rummel with 19 points apiece. A lot of action here so far tonight, lots more still to come. Colt and I get you all caught up when we return with the St. Jude halftime report. Welcome back to LoanDepot Park for round 16 in Miami, Florida. I'm Scott Jordan alongside Colt Stevens. So Colt, three sides of the spectrum here tonight. Camden Murphy wins racing, then struggles in the Great Clip Skills Challenge. Tyler Menninga exits early in racing, but bounces back in the Great Clip Skills Challenge. But we say it all the time, consistency is key. And you know who's been the most consistent here tonight is Ryan Anderson.
Yeah, Ryan Anderson's out there putting on a clinic. He didn't win racing, but he was right there in the final round against Camden Murphy, and that's what he's got to do if he wants to continue winning.
Another driver who's had some great moments tonight and is right in the thick of the event championship race is Kayla Blood. Talk about her night.
You know, Kayla's really throwing it down out there. She beat Tyler Menninga in racing, so she's got a lot of bragging rights there. And then she came out and threw it down in skills, throwing both two great moves in that event. So I am excited to see what she's got in store for freestyle.
Well, Zombies Barry Musauer has had some issues. He had him in round one of racing, missed the Great Clip Skills Challenge. And for an update, let's hear from the two-time Guinness World Record holder as we join Leslie Mears with his UNOH halftime pit report.
We saw the smoke early from Zombie in racing. So, Barry, what did you feel and what did you find once you got back here?
Well, I got off to a pretty good start. We got around the paperclip pretty good, but then as soon as we exited the paperclip, a big vibration came in the engine, and I knew exactly what it was. As soon as it started, I said, oh man, there's a connecting rod, and it's thrown out of the oil pan. There's a big hole in the oil pan right now. That spells disaster whenever you're talking about these 1,500 horsepower engines. It really just is wear and tear on parts is what it is. So we have a new engine to put in. We'll be back for round 2 of Miami tomorrow. The crew guys are working feverishly right now to get the old engine out, put the new one in.
Guys, that's more of a smile on his face than I thought I'd see when I came back here.
Thank you, Leslie. So frustrating night for Barry Musauer. He sits 5th in the current series point standings, but a lot to suffer in one round here.
Yeah, there's no doubt. With that much engine damage, there's just no way Barry's going to make it back.
A lot of action happening here tonight at LoanDepot Park. Let's catch you up on our current BKT overall points leaderboard. Ryan Anderson, 23, Camden Murphy, 20, Kayla Blood, Tyler Menninga, and Corey Rummel each tied with 19 points, so a lot still on the line when it comes to freestyle. Monster Jam is always on the cutting edge when it comes to technology, and over the last few years, Monster Jam trucks have evolved from mechanical fuel injection to electronic fuel injection, which, Colt, has been a huge change when it comes to engine performance.
Oh, no doubt. Being able to have these new EFI systems on the truck is awesome.
And Colt spent some time with Ryan Anderson to discuss just how important the EFI systems are to the trucks. So take a look at this edition of Colt's Corner.
Hi, I'm Colt Stevens. I'm going to take you inside Monster Jam and show you some of the technology that we run inside of our trucks, including the Holley EFI system that allows us to do more precise driving. I'm here with my buddy Ryan Anderson, driver of Son of a Digger, powered by Hoonigans. He's going to help me explain this system and how vital they truly are.
The EFI system is insanely vital to us. It allows us to measure the input and output of our engines so we can precisely tune them. This thing has multiple sensors all throughout the motor. We know everything about the motor before it even happens. So it's measuring how much air is going in the motor and giving the precise amount of fuel to mix just right. It is constantly fine-tuning back and forth, measuring how much air is going in, how much air is coming out, and what the quality of that air is coming out, making sure it's burning every bit of the fuel.
It takes a lot of the guesswork out for the crew chiefs as well. Now with this system, they can plug a computer in, know right away how much it needs. The truck automatically adjusts itself, so it takes a lot of guesswork out for the technicians as well.
Absolutely, and one of the best thing about it is actually help us evolve our motor program because now it data logs everything that happened, not to mention the horsepower gain. We used to go through twice the amount of fuel. It's amazing for us with more power. The Holley dash shows everything. It's my dash inside the truck. It's showing me everything about the motor as it's happening. You just need to go inside to look at it. You can see all the sensors, RPM gauge, temperature gauge, oil pressure gauge. Those are the three most vital things about the motor. But then around that, you'll see some more precise things. We have sensors on either side of the motor measuring the fuel-air ratio going in and out of the motor. And then on the bottom, we have fuel pressure. You have to have the precise amount of fuel pressure for this EFI system to run properly, and battery voltage. Every second I'm driving, it's understanding how much throttle I'm putting in, how much air is going in the motor, how much fuel it needs to mix with that air to make the maximum horsepower possible.
Yeah, it's so awesome to be able to bring this technology to Monster Jam and have such a great program working on these trucks, making it better and better week in and week out. So much change over the last 30 years, and we're just getting stronger every event we go to.
One more competition remains here in Miami, so do not go anywhere. Freestyle is coming up next. Welcome back to the home of the Miami Marlins as we get ready for the second half of action here in South Florida. On this series, Barry Musauer, Tyler Menninga have 4 freestyle wins apiece. Now, they both started their careers respectively in the arenas. 2 different styles in freestyle. Barry plans his whole run out. Now, he's obviously out tonight. Tyler just plans the first 2 hits. But from a driver's standpoint, on this narrow track, would you rather plan your entire run out, or would you rather just kind of plan a couple hits and see what happens?
Well, the thing is about it, Scott, is I think it's 2 completely different driving styles. Barry does plan his runs out, and it works out for him. I think it's a lot harder for you to do that just because the truck bounces around and it changes what you thought you were going to do, and it's hard to recover from that. Where Tyler's kind of a roll the dice kind of driver, so it's easier for him to just go out there and just absolutely send that gravedigger truck over and over again, and hopefully he comes out on top.
Now let's head down to the track, kicking off freestyle tonight. Paul Jensen, Jurassic Attack.
Going to downside here. Nice work there. Could have threw a stoppie right there, but he chooses not to.
And look at the positioning of the backflip ramp, the container. You cannot go all the way across that side of the berm because the container is right there in front of you.
Yeah, that's kind of a hard move there. It limits where you can actually go on this track when you go across the center like that.
Truck leaning out to the left.
I thought he was going to be short there, Scott, but he executed that perfectly. Lands right in the center of that pad. He's going to have to throw it in reverse here.
Comes off the side of the car stack, now trying to amp up the throttle rhythm a little bit.
Truck looks like it's landing a lot better. It's a new truck this year, that Jurassic Attack. I know they've been struggling with getting the right setup, and it looks like Paul's starting to get it figured out.
And Paul Jensen now fills the clock, 7.307. Up next, Craig Champion, El Toro Loco. Craig out of Kalamazoo, Michigan, home state of Jim Kohler. Slap wheelie combo. There caught a lot of hype across Monster Jam for Weston Anderson, for John Zimmer Jr. Craig Champion in his rookie year has had some shining moments as well.
Yeah, he's had some wow factors, that's for sure. Nice jump there across the center, get a little crazy. Might go over right here, Scott.
He can save it. Not quite on the tires, though. Great, would have been a great combo move, couldn't make the save. Here comes Tyler Menninga out of Oskaloosa, Iowa, and Gravedigger, the only 4-time Triple Threat Series champion in Monster Jam history. Great air for Tyler Menninga. There's your premeditated moves coming off the yellow side all the way around to the gray side. Gets the momentum, now brings it back inside out for Tyler Menninga. Outside in, I should say, over the berm.
Going right to the center right away, not playing around on the outside like a lot of the other drivers would. Goes right to it. Across the center, clearing the entire pod. Stoppie. Wow, technical. Extremely hard to do with so much momentum. We have some issues going on though, Scott. I think something might be wrong with the front of that truck. See how hard it's leaning already? Like a shock's going down or a sway bar might be bent.
So at this point, Colt, do you try to get it centered or you just leave it go?
Yeah, I think a shock is bent. Did you see how it didn't drop out? You just got to drive it. You got to go out there and do your thing. You can't give up on the truck. You still got a lot of freestyle left. See how it's not really wanting to drop out there in the front? Might be bent. I don't know. Something's definitely wrong, though.
Brake check there, same spot. Flips the back tires off, now trying to find a rhythm. Gotta wonder how long that truck is gonna hold together.
He's just gotta hope the tech officials don't shut him off.
He's going for a backflip here.
He got to this early, I mean. Oh, nice.
He's got the save.
All right, truck's in one piece. Go, Tyler.
First backflip of the night, fans going nuts here in Miami. That's why Tyler Menninga has 4 freestyle wins on the year, tied with Barry Musauer for the series lead. Crossing it up, he's gonna jump the container. He clipped the container. Unbelievable.
Thinking outside the box right there. That was cool.
And he's doing it again on this side on the car stack. Oh man, Tyler Menninga ends up on the
Nice
side
job.
of
Nice
Gravedigger
job.
39, but what an incredible finish. Take us into Super Glue Glue to the action replay.
Jumps the entire pod right here. I think this is when some of his issues started to show its face. Right here, great backflip, a little under-rotated, but it wasn't huge. It was great control. The truck gets it down on all 4 tires.
9.720 for Tyler Menninga. As we continue with freestyle, let's check back in with Leslie Mears.
Guys, Camden has some obstacles here in freestyle. Not only does he follow Gravedigger, but the location of the backflip, he said, is going to make it hard for him to find his rhythm for freestyle on this small track. And so he's got a lot of limiting factors that he's got to overcome if he wants to continue this run.
And here comes Camden Murphy. Bakugan Dragonoid, 20 points so far in the event. Just second to Ryan Anderson, 3 points off the pace. We saw what Tyler Menninga did. How do you follow that? You're in a tough position, as Leslie mentioned, going after Gravedigger, who gets that amazing score, and the backflip. How do you follow it?
I don't think Tyler really had the momentum until after the flip, but right now Camden Murphy's coming out. He's got a lot of momentum. You can really hear that motor in that Bakugan truck right now, and I think that's what it's going to take.
Been saying all night he can only control the things he can control, and freestyle is the one thing where it's harder to control the truck. So Camden Murphy trying to get it dialed in now, coming off the yellow side, the race ramp.
I like the momentum, Scott. I really like with a high speed, high intensity that Camden's bringing to the table right now.
And he's just driving around in a circle. Now he turns it in.
Spins it around right back, huge air, right across the center. Listen to that motor zing. You know, we were talking about all the work that they did combing through that engine, or that combing through that truck this week. Well, I was looking at the truck earlier this afternoon, and there was still a lot of bent stuff on the truck. He's been driving the wheels off of this truck. I looked at the motor plates. We're all bent, the front of the chassis is bent, but whenever we're on the road in the middle of the season like this, sometimes you don't have the opportunity to fix everything. So hopefully that doesn't affect him here in Miami. Going for a backflip now, Scott.
He is going for a backflip. We haven't seen this angle yet. Now he's a little slow, but he hits it. And he gets a bounce on the front 2 tires. So there you go, and a wheelie combo.
Power wheelie again. He is known for doing that. He comes out and absolutely hammers that throttle.
But Camden Murphy now has to hope for a great score for his chances. Take a look at the Super Glue Glue to the action replay.
Right here, checks up for the backflip. Nice and slow. Oh, man, he got lucky. Those rear tires barely touched the ground whenever the front tires hit the backflip ramp.
8.342 for Camden Murphy. Not everybody was able to rise to the top of the leaderboard tonight in Miami. Let's take a look at some of our lower performing scores. Zombie couldn't even make it out on the track. Barry Musauer blew a motor in racing. For Kayla Blood and Soldier Fortune, she rolled early, didn't fill the 30 seconds to get a score. Mike Christensen and Vendetta filled the clock, but was unable to wow the fans. Preston Perez in Axe also filled the clock, but no wow moments. And finally, Jim Kohler in Avenger got hung up with the rear steer, and his score reflected that. Let's take a look at our current freestyle top 5. Tyler Menninga, Gravedigger has the lead. Camden Murphy, Bakugan Dragonoid in second. In third, it's El Toro Loco. In fourth, it's Jurassic Attack. And in fifth, Jim Kohler in Avenger. We are so close to crowning a champion in Miami. Just a few trucks remain as the conclusion of freestyle is next. Welcome back to LoanDepot Park. Let's take a look right now at our current BKT overall event point standings. Coming into freestyle, Ryan Anderson has the lead, 23 points. Camden Murphy with 20. Kayla Blood, Tyler Menninga, Corey Rummel at 19 points apiece. Next up, Corey Rummel in Megalodon, former Monster Jam Extreme Air Award winner, as well as Technician of the Year Award winner. Brings it back over the right side, gets right on that, just clips the back right BKT tire, but is able to center it up and keep that momentum going. Now whips Megalodon back, coming to the other side.
Oh, you got to be careful. We saw Craig Champion roll over doing a cross-up just like that one, but Corey's able to get through it. We got an issue, Scott.
Corey competed in the 2021 Stadium Championship Series, finished 8th in points. Had some impressive moments there, winning all 3 competitions at one point.
Well, I thought he might have had an issue there, Scott, but it might have just downshifted.
This is not a typical Corey Rummel freestyle run that we're seeing at all. He may try to turn it up here as he turns into the backflip ramp. Doesn't like the angle, backs it up a little crooked. Here goes Corey Rummel now to the container. Skies it. A little short, big bounce. And cannot land it, ends up on the hood. And Corey Rummel try for the backflip. Colt, what happened here? Take us to the Super Glue. Glue to the action replay.
Right here, under rotates, but catches a huge bounce off the front 2 tires, sends him over onto his lid.
Here comes the series points leader, Ryan Anderson. Leslie, what can you tell us about Son of a Digger?
Well, a quick update, guys. He did replace one of those shocks on the truck from the 2-wheel skills competition, but he's very confident about freestyle. He says he loves being in Miami here because of the dirt. It's going to hold up the ramps, and so he's going to have solid ramp faces to hit during freestyle. He said also a great thing here is that you're at sea level, so you're going to make really awesome power.
Thank you, Leslie. That's a great point. We haven't talked about that sea level thing here in Miami. It does offer an added element. You've driven here before, Cole. Talk about that.
Oh, absolutely. And then we have the EFI system that we learned about earlier that also helps so the truck automatically adjusts.
Look at the stoppy. Kicks it up. Popped the back 2 tires. Stoppy into a moon or nose wheelie across the pod.
He has got that figured out. I've seen him do that multiple times now. That is so hard to do. He will over jump that tabletop, trip the back of the truck and get it into that stoppie. Look at that huge air brake check. Perfect example of dropping the nose on a truck.
So Ryan Anderson, in order to win the event championship here, he's got to finish 4th or better in freestyle, which is always a possibility.
I love how he's downshifting, coming around out of these corners. He's downshifting the first gear, really hanging it out. See, this is what I was talking about. Tyler was missing, Scott. He has got the whole package now. He's got the fast momentum, really loud motor. The fans are feeling this right now. Now, if he can throw down the rest like Tyler did, he's going to easily take this win. Look at that downside right there.
He's going to end up bumping into the container.
So that was really hard to do. There's a lot of timing involved coming off that tabletop, downsiding the first one, making it nice and easy on the truck, then downsiding the second.
Goes around to the other side, though. He's got the backflip coming up on the container, and he's going to land it in a moonwalk on the backside combo.
There it is, buddy. This should easily take the win now. He's got everything.
Now comes the cross-threading. Ryan Anderson revving up, gets over here to the yellow side, onto the pod jump.
Man, he is just flying. He's throwing that truck around everywhere. Here it goes. It's going to be huge.
Big time air for Ryan Anderson.
Up on 2 wheels. He's going to save it. Oh, yeah. Easy peasy.
Sidewall save for Son of a Digger, powered by Hoonigan. And the fans are going nuts in Miami. Cole, take us to the Super Glue to the action replay.
Right here, perfect execution of a stoppie. I mean, sets that up beautiful. That is so hard to do with so much momentum in these trucks coming across the center right there. Again, loving those race lanes on the outside. Absolutely sending that truck, getting into a sidewall save right here. Easy peasy for Ryan.
9.600, second place. The fans are booing themselves.
No way. He definitely should have won that one.
We're up next in freestyle, Charlie Pauken in Monster Mud, 2010 World Finals Freestyle Champion.
He's got a big run to follow. But if anybody can do it, it's Charlie. He's messing around on the outside.
And Charlie showed up to Miami with a new hairstyle this weekend. You know? I'm feeling that Florida sunshine, man.
It's time for a change, and maybe that's going to change his driving style a little bit. Get a wild and crazy. Look at that. Charlie Pauken, perfect slap wheelie.
Sticking the dog straight up, turning the wheels to show off.
It's the best slap wheelie we've seen tonight.
I agree. Comes right back across now, up over the gray car stack. Off the berm, keeps the momentum, low center of gravity for the truck, able to get all the way across.
I thought he was going to come up short there, Scott, for a second. Right here, even again. Oh, man.
Just made it, Cole. Just made it onto the pod.
Yeah, a little lost right there for a second, Scotty. I don't think he could quite figure out where exactly he wanted to go.
He's had some interesting turns in the truck here. It does look like he's trying to figure it out, but it's a small track, not a lot to choose from. Maybe that's messing with him a little bit here.
Yeah, I think he wants to flip. Oh, he's trying to do what Ryan did right there. Went into a stoppie and a backflip off of this side first. Oh, get it. Cool save. Look at that save, man. That was awesome.
Great save from Charlie Park and almost under-rotated.
He didn't quit on it, that's for sure. He's only got 10 seconds left. What's he going to do?
Cleared the pod on that last jump. Time for one more big move. Now he's coming over the car stack on this side. So Charlie Palkin gets the save on the backflip ramp. Great run for him. Take a look at the super glue. Glue to the action replay.
Right here, this is awesome. Backflips, under rotates, but doesn't quit on it. Is able to save it barely, but gets it back to all 4 BKTs and continues on with his freestyle.
Let's take a look at our top 5 freestyle leaderboard. Gravedigger's going to win this one. Son of a Digger in second. Monsterma third. Bakugan Dragonoid in fourth. And Megalodon rounding out our freestyle top 5. So Tyler Menninga, Gravedigger, wins his 5th freestyle of the season. That it leads the series, and he's on the track with Leslie Mears. Leslie.
It was definitely a mission-style freestyle. I want to know where you got the gumption to jump the container, though.
Yeah, you know, there's actually one jump that I had been planning all year and haven't really got around to doing it, and that was my last jump. I've been pitted right over here by the backflip jump all night, so I kind of was looking at it. I was like, man, I bet I could clear that thing. So as soon as I hit the backflip, I kind of went around. I said, all right, those are going to be my last 2 jumps. I'm going to go clear the backflip jump, and I'm going to go hit that last jump that I've been wanting to hit all year, and it couldn't have worked out any better, really. It was an awesome run. And the fans loved it, and that's all that matters at the end of the day.
Yeah, definitely the icing on the cake.
Thank you, Leslie. We can now take a look at our final BKT overall point standings. Ryan Anderson going to win this, 34 points. Tyler Menninga, 31. Camden Murphy, 29. Corey Rummel, 27. And Charlie Pauken with 23. So for Ryan Anderson, his 9th event championship of the season. And he's on the track with Leslie Mears.
So Ryan, for you, everything just seemed to come together. You told me you were excited to be here, about the dirt, about the power that you could make, and you really showed out on the track with that tonight, taking this overall.
No doubt. I had a good time today. I mean, that's all there is to it. I had fun. I would like to have done a little bit better in racing. I mean, I went to the finals, and I did technically pass the finish line first, but that was my mistake. It was nobody's fault but mine. So that, I wish I would have done better in racing, but 2-wheel skills was sweet, and freestyle was even better. So that just got me pumped up for the next one, man. I cannot wait. Event championship number 9, I'm ready to make it 10.
He could go back-to-back just right here in Miami.
Thank you, Leslie. Well, the party's officially on tonight in South Beach for Ryan Anderson, and we'll be right back here at LoanDepot Park for round 17 in Miami, so make sure you join us. For Colt Stevens and Leslie Mears, I'm Scott Jordan. We'll see you next time on Monster Jam. Good night.